Welcome to Drop the Low, where nothing is off limits. I am Shaniece, your co-host. And as some of you might know, this is my mother.
It's your girl, Evelyn Lozada, and I am so excited. We have been talking about doing this podcast for months. Like, it's been actually Lisa that worked for me. She talked to me years ago. This was probably like 2020 about wanting to do a podcast. And this was in the beginning of, I guess, podcast wasn't what it is now. So big shout out to everyone that has a podcast out there. You guys have really inspired me to do this, and I feel confident that I can do it, but I'm more so excited to be able to do this with my bestie, Shaniece.
Well, funny enough, you've been talking about it for a long time. And then after I had Blaze, I was like, I'll do it with you.
Yes.
And I actually surprised myself. I don't know what had gotten into me.
You're a mom now.
I'm a mom. Yes, I am a mom.
You're a mom. I feel like when you become a mother, I don't know, it's just like all these like weird switches turn on and you're like, okay, I have to do this. You feel more confident. Like it's something about feeling like.
It definitely makes you more brave.
Yes.
I think going through labor makes you feel like you can do absolutely anything.
Yeah.
When
I
you
was
push
there,
out
by
a
the
kid.
way. So we're excited about this podcast. This is, we want to use this as a safe space for us to have certain conversations. We're also going to recap Basketball Wives this season, which will air on May 5th. And we're excited. Actually, this is probably the longest. This is not saying anything about any other season, but I know that this season is so powerful and it's so good. Obviously,
I care about that, but back to me. So my reasoning also would be, to do this podcast with you. Obviously, I always love working with you since living Lozada, but just so that people get to know me in a different light. I just always feel like I'm very much misunderstood. And I always feel like I come across as if I don't have a voice because I don't have the loudest voice. So it can be very, misunderstanding to who I am. And I think after I had Blaze and I become a mom and that's a part of my new identity, I want people to actually get to know me. Like me, who I am sincerely. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. I also think the world, so you have to think like the world and people that have watched the show and know who you are from the show, and you being my daughter, they've watched us evolve because who I was 10 years ago, you were in high school.
But it's like little clips here and there. Mm-hmm. Like even Lozada, Live in Lozada, we filmed that almost 10 years ago. And I even look back to that time and I was just still so young filming that show, and I just feel like now I'm so much more comfortable with who I am that I feel like I can speak freely and it's okay.
Yeah.
So it's taking me a long time to find my voice, but I'm here.
You are here. And I'm excited because you know how many times I have been like, curse a bitch out, Shaniece.
I'm not going to do that still. I still won't do that. But yeah, I just want people to know me,
She's you're even me in your comments, right? So obviously it was a big Shaniece is pregnant, right? And then the world, there were little rumors, right, about who the father was, right? But just the people in your comments. So I've always been like, me as her mother, mind you, you're a grown woman. I'm like, I want to argue with all these people. And you're such a flower. You just deal with it
And you know what, too? I think going through that, because it was the phase in my life that was closest to my heart was plastered everywhere more than anything about me. So I think that phase when I was pregnant and everyone knowing and everyone having, judgments or commentary really built me up to be like, well, this is who I am.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. And no, I want to speak. And, people say mean things. And some of that I want to clear up.
Yeah.
I do. Not that what strangers say matters. but half the time it's just so far from me. But I haven't given anyone an opportunity to get to know me, which leads to, you know, I'm a this, I'm a that, I'm a that, you know,
Right.
all that. And that will never end.
Right.
But still,
No,
know?
actually, it's going to rev back up
Probably
after
gonna
this.
amp right after this. But at least I've put myself out there, you know?
Yeah. So I'm proud of you. I remember talking about
Thank
this with
you.
you, and I'm like, I want to do a podcast. We should do a podcast.
Yeah.
And
And you were
were-
talking about it, and I was like, do. And then one day I was like, I'll do it with you.
Yeah, you did. And I was like, but I love that. I love how, I mean, I could even since having Blaze, like you, to watch your kids, you know, grow and evolve, and for you to feel like you have a voice and feel confident
Yeah.
in, you know, the woman that you are, you know, today
No.
is good. Like, I'm
important.
proud of that.
No, it's really important.
You're a good person.
Ooh,
You're a good, like, honestly, I even on the
Thank
show, I'm
you.
like, it makes you guys know, it makes my ass, you're a grown woman, but it literally makes my ass itch, my right butt cheek
Ooh, okay.
itch so bad because
Not the left, but the right.
it's the right one. It's my right butt cheek, but it makes my ass itch because, you know, whenever you are brought up on the show, because anything you or people try to weaponize it against me because they know my kids are my trigger, you know? And even though you're a grown woman now, it affects me because they don't know you. Like she's such a
Thank you,
good
Mom.
soul. And I think that's why people were shocked that she, you know, had a baby by Jay, right? Because it's like two different contrasts,
Yeah,
right?
well-
I'm not saying he's a bad person, but like, you know,
Yeah. My soul has nothing to do with my taste level, maybe, or like what I'm attracted to or what I have been attracted to.
yeah, you like them spicy.
Real spicy.
She likes them spicy.
I do. You tend to sometimes like or gravitate to, sometimes, not all the time, because I've also liked people who are like me. So I think sometimes in life I've liked people who are like me, more like me. And sometimes I've liked people who are completely the opposite. But, you know, it's funny because you and I are opposites.
For sure. That's why I don't
Yeah.
know how you came out of my vagina. Like, I just don't know.
I don't know either. So you and I are just so opposite. And maybe, you know, I think about it all the time, like as far as like finding my voice, your voice is much louder. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I just mean you are louder, you know? So I think because I am your daughter, it kind of like my voice is not as loud as yours. So it doesn't come across the same way. And
Yeah.
obviously like we're mother daughter, so there could be like a comparison, like you're this way and I'm that way.
Right,
You know?
right.
But like I love how loud you are.
Yeah,
You
but
know,
the
like-
loudest one in the room always doesn't get her message across. You
no,
know?
they don't. They don't.
These are things that I've like learned, you know, so I try to be a little bit more poised when I'm arguing or I'm having a
That's
conversation. I'm still chipping at it though,
I
you know, until you get me to a place where, and the only time I'm in that place is when I am shooting Basketball Wives,
Yeah.
because you see me every day. Leo sees me every day. If Leo's on TikTok and happens to see a clip of me arguing, he's like, what? He doesn't see me like that.
Well, because I've seen you like that.
Well-
not on the show.
Right.
Because I've been with you since you were much younger.
Yeah.
Now, personally, it shifted so much, but obviously, you know, the show is still happening and those triggers are still there.
Yeah.
So when it comes out, it's on that show, and that's what Leo sees. Leo doesn't see that here in the house.
Right.
Me, I got a different mom, you know, like completely different mom. So
Whatever.
I know you, that being you, outside of the show.
Right.
You know, like I feel like you have always been you. Like
Right.
I don't think anyone could ever say you're being a phony.
Right.
And I like that about you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was called a phony this season, but we'll
I mean, you've been called worse things.
well, I
but-
mean, at this point, I'm like, whatever. You know, I try to no matter what's happening throughout the seasons, like I try to be my real authentic self, no matter what we're filming, no matter the situation. Even if, there's like drama and there's always two sides, right? Like I try to go with what I really feel versus what, looks good or what production may think or what, like I go with how I really feel.
Yeah.
It's not always good, but it's I try to be as authentic as possible, and I feel like that's why the show has worked for me in a sense. It's like yeah, it's,
Yeah, no,
try to be real.
I think authenticity is important. So I always like that in personalities outside of, myself. No matter how crazy you're being, still being authentic. And I love that.
So I saw someone else ask their daughter this question, so this made me think. What are one of the things that you love about me, and what are one of the things that you can't stand about me?
Oh my God. One thing I love about you, I love more than one thing about you.
Yeah.
Um, One thing that I love about you, there's too much.
Okay, so
Like I love your generosity. I love your go-getter mentality. I love you have a great heart. Um, you're not always patient. I'm gonna say that would be the one thing that I on the con side. I'm not gonna say dislike because I think that you have grown patience throughout the years, but you're not always patient. Yeah.
okay, I'll take it.
But I love more than one thing like about you. That's hard to say.
Yeah.
The good thing is, it's easier for me to say all the things I like about you than all the things I don't like about
Yeah.
you.
Listen, as a mother, as a single mother, I'll take it.
Yeah, no.
So let's see.
I don't even want to know what you don't like about me. I don't want to know. I was gonna ask the question and I decided I don't want to know. No, I don't want to know.
Why? It's not anything bad. It's not anything bad.
I said I don't want to know.
It's not anything bad.
I was gonna ask, and I decided I don't want to know.
There's certain things that you guys do that make my ass itch.
The right or the left cheek?
This one's the left cheek. You and Leo have the left,
let's leave it there.
the left cheek.
I don't want to know.
No, it's not bad.
But it's not great. I don't want to.
You know what makes
Leave it alone.
No, I'm not. I'm gonna tell you. So one of the things that drive me crazy
I just said don't say anything.
is Shaniece pushes it with time a little bit. Like I'm such a stickler. You've gotten better, but I'm very like anal and sticklery with like, I guess a stickler with just like time. So if she's like, hey, I'm going to be there at 12, but I give her grace now because you are a mom. And I know it's a lot juggling the baby and a baby bag, a stroller, a carriage, the bottles,
in the car, out the car. Like, it's like 50 million things. I'm exhausted. I'm like, do I want to leave the house today? And I have to do all of that. Remember you wanted to go to the farmer's market on Sunday? I went through my head of all of the things I would have needed to do to make it to the farmer's market because I was already tired. And I was like, I'm going to skip this. By the time I make the bottle with the baby bag, make sure he has all of his things, put the car seat on top of the stroller, and then I go to the car, and then I unload it all, and then I unload it off. It's just too much.
Yeah, and don't have a baby crying through all of that. Thankfully,
he's so good.
He's a good baby.
But rushing with a child, and I'm a rusher, clearly, because I'm always late. Rushing with a child it's not it.
It's not it. But I give you grace with that. So that's really the only thing,
I have
which
grace
is
now.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna blame it on Blaze. Sorry,
yeah.
I'm late.
No,
Blaze's
you used to be
fault.
late before Blaze. Actually, you've gotten
Really
better
bad.
since Blaze. It's like weird.
Yeah.
Before Blaze, it was just you, and you were like floating in whatever planet you were in. I'm like, all right, girl.
Time is not my thing.
Time is not her thing.
1 year, a New Year's resolution for me to be on time, I lasted like 2 weeks. This was like 5 years ago.
She'll be like, calm down. Everything's going to be okay. I'm like, it's not.
Well, because when we get there, we haven't missed anything. Like nothing was missed, you know?
Yeah.
You're kind of controlling.
Am I?
Yeah, I think so.
You think? I think so.
You are a little controlling, actually.
I am.
That
Maybe.
comes from wanting,
Yeah.
control.
It's probably why I'm single.
Alrighty.
What do you think is something people get wrong about our relationship?
I don't know, because I feel like you make it very clear. Like, I feel like you make it very clear. Like, you are Mama Bear. What do they get wrong? Everyone knows you don't play about your kids.
I don't.
Everyone knows we're close. Yeah, I don't know what.
Yeah.
What do you think people get wrong?
Hmm.
Oh, I know what people get wrong.
What?
That, like, you've kind of, like, groomed me.
That's a good one.
I'm sorry. I think people, like, be like, her mother taught her this or her mother taught her that, or, like, as if you were, like, grooming my taste level or to some way. That's wrong.
Right.
That's what people get really wrong.
Yeah. No, I will say I was catching so many stray bullets when it came out that you were pregnant, right? So
Yeah.
it was like people were like going in on me, kind of like I would
Yeah.
see it in my comments, and I'm like, I don't have a dog in this fight. You know
But
what I
you know
mean?
what? That's a little payback, because prior to that, most of the negative comments I got was from, like, whatever happened on the show or with you or with something. And now it got reversed.
Oh, you know what? That is a very good way to look
got
at it.
reversed.
Yeah, that's true, because they usually are in your comments. Your mother this, your mother that.
Before that, most of the negative stuff I will say is in, like, regards to who I'm associated with. Mm-hmm. Because no one really knows me that well.
Right.
So most of the stuff is, like, whoever I'm associated with.
Right.
So how did it feel?
I mean, I find things funny now. Like, as you get older, you're not sensitive about certain things. And, like, I'm so comfortable in who I am as a mom. And so some of the stuff was just so outlandish, though. The rumors, the stories, like you said, I groomed you to do this, or so.
And mind you, obviously, I have a dating history. Like, I dated people before I met my son's father.
Right, they know about that.
But not everyone knows about that. So
Right.
it's, like, such a shock,
It's such a shock. How do you feel that your personal life is always a topic, or I guess people are interested in it, or
It's interesting to me because I'm not interested in other people in that way. Like, I'm not, like, to be honest, even the ones closest to me, I'm not all up in anyone's business. I feel, even with friends, like, whatever you want to share or tell me, fine, but I'm not probing. And so it's a little uncomfortable when people want to probe so much and, like, be all up in your business, or make assumptions.
right.
Like, that they know people or know situations or know what you've gone through, and they have no idea. But I think after a while, it does become funny. You're like, really?
I
like,
crack
it
up.
does become funny after a while. I've just never been the person to be all up in someone's stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but it is what it is.
You deal with it very well.
Mom, if someone only knows you from Basketball Wives, what don't they know?
What they don't know about me.
Yeah.
Why are you laughing?
Sorry, I have something, but go ahead. What don't they know about
What
you,
don't they
Lita?
That I like to wear my same holy pajamas. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I have my consistence. I mean, you guys may think I'm all up in here fancy schmancy. I go to Home Goods and I get slippers
Yeah.
and my pajamas. Like, I hold on to them for dear life. Like, they could, several of them have holes in it, and I don't care.
I have purchased her pajamas, and she still does not wear the pajamas.
But you purchase
were La
pajamas
Perla.
that are like,
It was La Perla.
yeah, she purchased me La Perla pajamas. And granted, it's not like a lingerie. They're like pants with like a cute like little top, but it's still, it's still not, I like,
The pajamas with the hole. Oh, they not only have a hole, they're high waters. Like super high. I'm going to get you some Skims. Skims are good.
is
Skims,
it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
So
Skims.
that's probably it. I feel like people
Cool.
would envision or think I'm going to bed with the La Perla that you bought. And in reality, I'm not. I'm at Home Goods.
Yeah.
And you'll see me at Home Goods. And if you see me at Home Goods, come up and say hi. I love Home Goods. I put you on to Home Goods.
You did. I really like Home Goods now.
And now you like Home Goods.
I do.
Okay. You can see that's that mom energy. Okay. I have another question. So, what's the one thing that I say on camera that I say in real life? So, what's the one thing mom says on camera and in real life? Is there something that I say like, well,
Like a one-liner, like a word?
like a one line?
You have a lot of one-liners. You're good
I-
for that. You
I
have a lot of
do.
one-liners. I don't know. Funny enough, like not this season. This season, like I'm into. Well, what have you been saying? I don't know. I don't know what you.
What have you been saying? By the way, when I slapped my vagina seasons ago, I never forget. Did I tell you that I did that, or did you see the clip?
I don't know. I don't know what came
I-
first, but the clip definitely came.
Shaniece, did you call me or did we talk in person? All I know is I remember I felt like a kid, and she was like, so you just felt like slapping your vagina? And I
No.
remember thinking, yeah, I was really upset.
I don't question you about a lot, but that one I needed some insight on, like what happened that day, like from beginning to end. What did you drink? Like where? Why?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it's a funny.
And it still comes up
it totally.
on Instagram,
I repost.
and I cringe.
You
I'm like,
cringe?
oh my god, I can't get past the thing fast enough. I'm like, no, I don't want to watch it. Like I don't want to watch it.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's a really popular clip.
It's a very popular clip. Even Leo showed me the clip one day because
Yeah.
someone did a TikTok of it.
People
And
remix the
he's
video.
like the girl had on a bathing suit, bodysuit, just almost similar. And he was like, look, this girl did a TikTok of your thing is sometimes. So what I tell him is I'm acting.
Is he gonna see this?
Probably. He's very like, you've been bullshitting me or you've been lying to me all my life.
Tell him I'm
How dare
acting.
you?
Is that what you really tell him?
I tell him I'm acting. I'm like, I'm acting. It's a character.
He's brought up the clip. I just say I'm like
Yeah.
I don't know what to say.
And he keeps telling me this season, he keeps going, when does the show air? Queen's Court, he like almost binged watched Queen's Court.
But that was sweet. Queen's Court was sweet, sort of.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it was more wholesome than the crotch smacking.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
it was more not more wholesome.
And it was about love and dating and hope. There was some other things
Yeah,
there.
there was. So I didn't mind him binge watching that, but he's like really into this season for whatever reason.
I think that because he's younger, he's like kind of like, that's my mom
Yeah.
on TV.
Yeah.
Because he still gets a little bit like not excited, but like kind of surprised when people know you.
Yeah,
You know
when
what
we
I
go to
mean?
Nassau, he goes,
Yeah.
my mother's Beyonce in Nassau.
Yeah, and I'm sure, like, because he's
I'm
young,
like,
you
oh,
think that's
Leo.
kind of cool, you know?
Just stop.
Just stop.
Yeah, that, he's like, my mom thinks she's Beyonce in Nassau because both of
Yeah.
my kids I have tried. Like Nassau is like a second home to me. Like I've taken my kids there a gazillion times because genuinely love the people there and everybody there.
Yeah, no, Nassau's great.
Yeah,
Gotta take Blaze.
yeah, we gotta take Blaze.
Mom, how different is the Bronx mama energy versus the laid back LA girl?
Two totally different worlds. You
Yeah.
had the Bronx mama energy. Leo has the LA version.
He definitely does.
You know, I'll still take that slipper and fling it at his ass though. And I have got him from across the room. So it is definitely a talent, but a Latin thing. But it's just, I don't know, Leo gets the more laid back LA. I'm also older too, it's with you. I mean, I got pregnant at 16, had you at 17. So you legit grew up with me. So
Yeah.
you hustle and bustled with me through, New York City. I remember, imagine this, at least you have a car with the carriage. I was getting on the bus
Yeah.
with all of your shit, getting on the
Yeah,
bus.
the bus or the train. Like,
Yeah.
No.
So, and it's freezing outside. So it's two totally different things, But I also feel like I was so fearless when I had you, Like, I don't know. Sometimes I think, like, how the fuck did I do that? Like, how did I have this baby? Now that you have Blaze, can you imagine me, mind you, 17, I'm living with your grandmother, your dad in this little bedroom. He worked nights. So I have always felt like, well, I have been a single mom most of my life, even though their fathers are there and involved. It's always been mainly on me. So it was hard, but I was also so fearless. Like, I'm going to do this.
Yeah, no, I mean, I feel like a teen mom with a Blaze.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, yeah, no, I don't know how anyone at that age could have a child, actually. You or anybody else.
Yeah.
I cannot imagine.
Yeah. It was crazy. It was crazy, but it also gave me so much purpose.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, okay, I have Shaw. I got to take her to Nilda's. I got to go to work.
Nilda's.
She remembers this babysitter, Nilda. Don't say anything bad about Nilda, please. Because she's still babysitting. So just let's keep it
We're
going.
gonna move on.
But
She was great.
give me a glass of champagne.
You want me to get you?
Oh, wait, hold on.
Okay, we're toasting.
Yeah, sorry, I like cut it mid.
Happy podcasting.
Happy podcasting. But yeah, I feel like I was like fearless, and he gave me purpose.
Yeah, but what I mean by anyone at that age having a child, like there's so many things that are happening with your body. Like there's so many things that I learned being pregnant with Blaze and going to the doctor, and when your cervix is dilating and then the number that it dilates and all these things that I had no idea.
Let's talk
about anything. I knew nothing about anything.
Let's talk about your delivery. Let's talk about
It's as everyone would expect. Say it.
Shanice's delivery. First of all, this is my first time seeing a baby come out of vagina, right?
I seen Leo come out of you, and I almost like.
We saw our kids come out of each other. Crazy.
It's
but
wild.
So I didn't want to be overbearing, I didn't want to be, I know that you wanted that moment, right? For you and Jay, right?
Yeah.
Because I get it, but I didn't want to be overbearing, but I was like, God, I hope she has me in there. Because I want to see him born, And she messages me and she was like, yeah. So, I think I'm in labor. And I'm like, you think? Like, and I kept telling her, if you see like the mucus plug, like
Oh
start
my
paying
God.
attention to this.
Yeah.
If you see that thing come out and you catch it, it's gonna be go time, at real soon. So she was like, yeah, she was like, so I think that thing you were telling me about, like, it came out, but I'm fine. I'm good. So
think I
mind
was in
you,
shock.
I'm spiraling at home. So I'm like, oh my God. And then I have this issue with putting my phone. I don't know how to fucking do it. Like, how do you put your phone on silent but still have like important people call you?
The do
Because
not disturb.
yeah, like I tried to set it up. It wasn't working. People know if you're going to text me or call me after a certain time, the world could be ending and I'm not going to know till the next day. Even my kids. So I was like, crap, I need to really figure this out because I don't want to miss this. And you labored at home. You could say the rest of your story because I'll hijack it.
Yeah. Yeah. I labored at home for a day and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. By the time I got to, was it a day and a half? I don't know. I don't know the time. I labored at home for a little while. It wasn't time for me to go to the hospital.
For a long time. It was like from the night before, girl.
The night before. And by the time I got to the hospital, I was 5.5 centimeters.
Yeah.
Dilated.
So she's like, yeah, so we're here. And
when I was laboring at home, I was playing meditation music, like baby meditation music. And I was like kind of falling asleep and kind of feeling my contractions. My dream was to have a home birth. And I think that next time around, I think I could actually do it. Like,
yeah,
at home.
I thought she
Yeah.
was nuts when she was talking about, I want a home birth, I want a doula.
Yeah.
I'm like,
no, that was always my dream, and it didn't happen this time around. I think because I also got scared of like, I need to be in a hospital, and also it was my first pregnancy, so every little thing is a big thing. So I did labor at home. I listened to meditation music. I was kind of like falling asleep in between my contractions, and then I was kind of knowing when they were coming. And I was obviously talking to my doctor, and she was like, wait a little bit longer and then come over. And so we waited, and then I was 5.5 centimeters when I got to the hospital at like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. Mm-hmm. And it was perfect because it was in Cedars. And imagine the traffic getting there to Cedars in the middle of the day.
I got there. So what happened?
6 a.m.?
I got there at 6 in the morning. Yeah. So I got there because I was like, let me know. I didn't hear from you for a while. But then Jay ends up texting me, I think, or calling me. And he was like,
he's probably like, help.
He's like, I think
now.
it's going to be soon. And I'm like, what? So, by the way, I called the game Jay because of what I'm not going to say,
Jay.
Yeah, okay. Just in case, who's that? People be confused. But so he calls me. He's like, yeah, it's almost time. I'm like, Leo. So Leo was so excited. He's so cute. He's so sweet.
Waited.
He waited, like literally, we legit got in the car. We drove there. And I got there, walk in her room. Everything is so peaceful. Not surprising. Mind you, down the hall, you could hear a lady screaming for dear life, but not Shaw. Shaw is like do you remember any of this or no?
Yeah.
Okay. So I walk in. She's all relaxed. Lights are down. Jay's taking a full-on nap. It was just like, I'm like, is anybody in labor in here? Like, what the hell?
No, I text my dad. I was like, I'm in labor. And he's like, so how are you texting? I'm like, it's all good. It's going good.
Yeah, she didn't scream. It wasn't like an intense, like stressed labor. Like it was so calming. Like, I'm like, where the fuck are we? you know?
All that yoga.
Yeah, it was like, so everything you would expect as far as like Shaw having a baby, it was really that. Like all we needed were candles
It was really
and
nice.
crystals in the room. Like
Yeah.
that's what it felt like.
It's the energy that I needed. I didn't want too many people in my delivery room. You have mad people in your delivery room. With
I had
Leo.
like 5-6
Oh
people
my
in my
God.
delivery room.
That was a lot of energy for me. I don't know how you did that. It was a lot of energy for me, and I wasn't even the one pushing when you had Leo.
Yeah.
That was a lot. Yeah, no, I just
It was a lot.
I wanted peace. I wanted peace while I was pushing.
My son's father in the delivery room, Carl, I have to put you on blast. This man he had his own like a yoga mat on the floor, right? And then there was also like a little sleeping area. Had somebody that in the family bring him a fan because he sleeps with a fan, and he was knocked out with his fan on. And then when it was go time, he was like, I remember thinking, he was like touching my head. You know how you do this to somebody, like it's gonna be good, but he was like this.
Depending on who the person is, I don't like to like that.
I'm like, okay, thank God for my sister being there. Because my sister was like, breathe, you got this. It's something about a female that
She kept telling me to look, Shaw, it's coming out. And I looked, oh my God. I'm like, never again. It was on her bucket list. It's never been on my bucket list to see a childbirth. So
it was on my bucket list, and I thought I was going to be grossed out, and I wasn't.
Oh, and then they go to me, do you want a mirror? And I'm not normally like grossed out by things. So I'm like, yeah, I'll get the mirror. I was like, absolutely no, I don't want the mirror. Take the mirror away. Do you remember that?
They brought the mirror, and she looked at her hoo-ha,
I didn't
and
want to
she
see
said,
my hoo-ha like that.
yeah, no.
Get it off.
And Jay's on the side, like, just kind of like.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the man looking down there when it's...
I didn't want Carl to look down
I'm not
there.
into that either.
Because all I kept thinking is, if he looks at my twat spreading from the east to the west coast, he's probably going to worry about the next time we're intimate.
I think like that too. No, I think that if the dad wants to see his child coming out, that there's nothing wrong with it, but it's not what I want.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to stop that if that's what he wants.
Right.
Does that make sense? But I just feel like I don't want you to see it under those conditions. And like when you go to get back in, are you going to have that image?
Right. And do you think
have
your
the image
dick
of
is
me.
going to fall to the bottom somewhere?
Yeah, which it doesn't happen because it snaps back, hopefully for some.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not, I don't want.
Is winter? Oh.
It's not my preference.
It's not your preference. I would prefer not. I wanted Carl to the left up here, and I'm happy that he didn't.
That's a safe zone.
I'm happy that he didn't look at it.
Stay to the left.
Yeah. No, but you had a really calm, easy delivery, So let's talk. Should we talk about Basketball Wives? Okay, cool. Let me see this recap. So, do you like shooting on Basketball Wives? Like, how do you feel about this season? We can't say too much. Obviously, Shaniece was brought up again, but how do you feel about shooting, and how do you feel about this season from what you know? Because obviously I'll come back home and be like, girl.
I know. I went a long time actually without watching the show. Also because I feel like you tell me what's happening, so I don't always need to watch it. And even when I'm on it, I never go back to like look at myself. The weirdest thing, right? I never go back to look at myself. This season I'm definitely invested in. I think there are a lot of moving parts this season. I think there's a lot of variety. That's the word I'm looking for. I think this season gave a lot of variety. I was definitely brought up again. And And yeah, I think in the past I was shoot as your daughter, but I think now I'm shooting as myself. You know, I think I'm starting to shoot as me.
Yeah, yeah, like you're my daughter, and but you're an individual as well. Like, yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
And I think that we're slowly getting to the point where I am an individual.
Yeah, you have
shooting
your
on the
own
show.
identity.
Yes.
Yeah.
That wasn't always the case, which is totally fine too, because I'm proud to be your daughter. So there's nothing wrong there. But yeah, I think the season had a lot of variety. I did meet some of the girls, which I always do. I don't know. I'm
Who
Switzerland.
did you really like that you met? So you met Brittany, you met Ty, did you meet Ming? No,
I didn't meet Ming.
you didn't meet. You would love Ming.
I'm kind of digging Ty.
Really?
Yeah.
Ty
Ty got a little like thing.
She got a
Ty
little.
got, like I feel like Ty has a little thing.
Ty gets all the ladies. I feel like Ty be.
She has an energy about her. Yeah. I don't know what it is.
You know
about
what,
Ty.
Ming? You know
we
what?
need to have Ty on
So
here.
did you find Ty attractive as a woman?
Well, I like men. So,
Right.
but like, she has like a thing, like a thing.
Like a thing that you would be attracted to?
Maybe.
Oh, holy shit, we're learning something new on Drop the Low.
Maybe. Like, I think she has like an air about
She
her.
does.
And she's like so like cool,
Yeah.
but like confident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
Doesn't say too much.
Yeah. So
She says just right.
Ming said something, and I said, "You know what? That's so true." Ming goes, "Don't fall for them little squinty eyes she be giving you," right? And then the next time I saw her, she does this squint thing because I think
might be
naturally
her
her
thing.
eyes, but I see why women are attracted to her.
Yeah. I can see it.
Like I see Ty, we see why women are attracted to you.
Yeah.
But she's funny. I think she has a good heart.
I agree.
I think she's a good person. I think even with you too, like a lot of the times you read things about certain people, like people knew about Ty's, ex relationship, with Mimi, and people remember just kind of like different stories. But when you get to know somebody, you're like, damn, you're a cool ass bitch,
Yeah.
Because a lot of the times you just feel like what you heard or the rumor, so it's nice. She's definitely a breath of fresh air. And I think people are going to love her this season. People are gonna love
her this
fuck.
season.
I think Shah, are you a lesbian? Is this what like what is going on?
Might be turning over.
You may be turning over, but you get it. I get it. So, but I think this season is like, I try not to cry on the seasons, but it was so emotional. Jackie and her daughter are on Jackie's daughter, Chantel's on the show.
Yeah.
And you love her.
Chantal, yes.
Yeah, and she's also a breath of fresh air. Like Chantel
She's
is
a Gemini.
She's a Gemini, and I hope that people will really get to, like Chantel's, you guys are the same age. She's a grown woman. She's married. She's such a good mom. So you'll see on the show the mother-daughter relationships. I don't want to, touch on it too much, but, I had moments where I was very emotional. I take a lot of what I film because home. You guys may not know that, but like when I'm like in this.
Oh, no, I know that.
Yeah, like I bring it home because sometimes I think if there's certain things and storylines going on the show that I could relate to, or it makes me think about like my kids, I can't help but to feel affected, you know? So, but I think this season is just so good. You know, obviously you'll see the dynamic between, you know, Jen and I because of the reunion and the hot mic moment. We'll start to dive into that because you guys saw the reunion where I look like I was hit a deer in the headlights with the audio that they aired about my feelings and my opinions about, you know, her relationship, which I never wanted to have on the show. You know, it was kind of forced upon me because of the hot mic. You know, they took the audio. I didn't know that it's never happened to me in all the years. So now they know mic me last, you know? And you'll kind of like see what happens with our friendship and, you know, it explains where we're at today because that's been such a up and down like roller coaster. What are you gonna say? Because I feel like you're thinking something.
I'm not thinking anything. I'm listening.
So
No, this is a great season. Saying this is a great season.
Listen, it's such a great season. This season of Basketball Wives is such a great season that we wanted to launch this podcast around the same time because I felt like I wanted us to have our own voice, say what we felt, and also recap the episodes. Because a lot of the times these bloggers and shit, they do it and then they say like, well, Evelyn thinks or feels this, but for us to have our own voice to be able to do that.
And I like that it's a mom and daughter.
Yeah.
Mom and daughter podcast.
Yeah. I don't know. I start digging mom and daughter podcast, but sheer. Nobody look like us. I'm just saying. You got some good ones out there, but you know, we giving a little spice. You know. By the way, there's bodysuits by SG.
Yeah, to drop SG.
Let me plug.
Speaking of the season, which moment made your jaw drop?
How can I say this without saying? Only BET on my ass. Or Truly or anyone. I will say cast trips are always interesting. And we had 2 cast trips. And the first one is where I feel like things start to really unravel. I can't really say what made my jaw drop because then I'm obviously giving away show and stuff. After it airs, I'll give my opinions and obviously like my feelings about how I felt in those moments. But cast trips look fun to y'all, but they're never that fun.
No, I was kind of gonna go on one, but I was nervous.
You were.
Yeah.
You were, and that would have been your first cast trip.
Yeah, maybe next season, but that does give me anxiety. I will say.
Cast trips are a lot of work. You know, they're a lot of work for filming the show. Everyone, no matter which side you're on, it's a lot of work shooting. I mean, you filmed here and there, so imagine I'm doing that several times a week for months at a time.
But a trip feels like not a trap, but there's nowhere to go. You're on a trip. You know what I mean? So that's the thing. I mean, you are having fun sometimes on these trips, but also you're literally shooting as soon as you touch down. You know, as soon as you touch down, you're shooting and you're going. So if we have a trip that's 4 days, they're trying to get at least 3 episodes out of this if they can. So we're filming a lot of the time around the clock. So that's why sometimes we just be looking crazy because we tired. I'm like, you want to film in my room? I don't care. You know, I don't care. I don't care if my eyelashes off. Like sometimes I feel like Basketball Wives Miami is like, oh, the makeup. Remember the makeup that season?
And it's so raw and it's so like makeup wasn't how it is now, right? Like everybody has Anastasia brows and lashes. Like lashes wasn't even a thing back then. What the fuck? Like we just used to use mascara. So like those things have like evolved, you know what I'm saying? For like,
yeah.
Yeah.
How do we get there?
Where?
Oh, that wasn't a question.
Oh, what?
Forget it. That wasn't a. I was wondering how did we get there?
Like,
All
what?
right, next one. Who surprised you the most on the cast, good or bad?
Who surprised me most on the cast? I don't know if I'm surprised at this person. It's probably Brittany.
You're surprised?
I am and I'm not. You know, it's just how can I touch on this without just saying too much? You know, this is when new cast members come to the show. Obviously, she did the show one other season. I try to have a somewhat of a relationship with them outside of the cameras, you know, because it's and I know they probably don't like, the producers don't like that or whatever, but I do, because I know that shooting the show is hard, you know, and I want whatever new cast member that comes on the show to get to know me outside of the show, so you can know me and you can trust part of this process, but you can also trust my intentions, you know, because I'm never the type to like try to snake somebody, even on the show, you know, and I feel like the world to see how that goes, but she's interesting. She's very interesting,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna just leave it there.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't wait to recap the episodes, because then I can dive into it more.
Yeah, we can discuss it in
but
detail.
you know, yeah.
Can we talk about a key moment that was in the promo video, but not give away too much?
Well, did you see the promo video?
I did.
What do you think about the promo video from what you saw?
From what I saw, obviously it was a lot of, you know, mother-daughter things happening with Chantal and Jackie.
So obviously we're on set. We heard about Jackie and her daughter and what happened while we were on a cast trip. Watching it is different, because we weren't there in that moment, obviously, when they were having whatever conversation that they were happening. I'm just always like, it makes me sad, you know, like, honestly, it does. Because at the end of the day, it's like me and you, you know, like, I can't imagine me and you like that, you know, and not that everything has been peachy our whole lives, but pretty much we never really had like huge drama, you know. Actually, we did have a really big fight, and we're going to touch on that because it's hilarious. But but you know, exactly. She's laughing because we don't fight and we don't argue. We may have like little disagreements, but this one was a big fight, like one big fight that we had in our life as adults.
Say it. You want to say it?
So, but I'll finish my beat about the show. But you know, just watching the teaser, and obviously I don't live every scene. Like, Jackie has her own scenes with her daughter, you know, everybody has their own scenes with their family members, whatever. So it was definitely jaw-dropping to see what I saw, even though I heard about it, and we discussed certain things that happened on set and you know, in different scenes. But I will say that it was heartbreaking for me, just as a mother, to see what's happening with Jackie and her daughter, you know. So, but
I'm gonna agree.
well, that was fun. If you love what you're hearing, don't be shy. Subscribe to Drop the Low podcast. We're so excited.
Yes. So this was a lot of fun. So if you liked us, liked our vibe, follow us on Drop the Low podcast, and be sure to tell a friend to tell a friend.
To subscribe.